back? Are we back? Holy crap. That was a pain in the ass. I am so sorry, guys. We are back. Yeah, I am so sorry about that. I don't know what happened. The internet just went out and it crashed. Hey, we were talking about. What were we talking about? We were talking about Dragon Age. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're contemplating. You are affiliate. That's right. Congratulations, my dude. Anyway, sorry about that, guys. I can't believe that crash happened. Did you recognize this scene? I did. And I have another famous scene, too. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about the crash, folks. That came from behind. Ugh. Yeah, sorry about that, folks. I don't know what happened. I really don't. That bothers me that my internet just dropped out. By the way, the helmet has Air Force in it. And Dragon Age is a gorgeous game. Yeah, no. So the reason why here we're gonna dismiss that real quick. Oh, the reason why I was talking about Dragon Age is because I heard it didn't meet expectations because like in Baldur's Gate 3, you could do some seriously heinously evil stuff, right? But um, in Dragon Age, it seems like you can't do evil acts. Like the game will not allow you to do evil acts. And that's what I think that's what people's biggest gripe is. And then it seems like um, some of the moral choices that you could be like, well, um, yeah, fair enough, but you can't exactly compare the two. Part of me wants to. Like, I understand they're two different games, but part of me wants to. Like, Larian was a very limited field studio. I mean, it's gotten bigger with the success of Baldur's Gate, but like Larian really worked hard to develop Baldur's Gate, um, and the role playing side of it. But and BioWare had an amazing story with Dragon Age, and they decided to just sit on their hands about it for a very long time. And BioWare is a larger studio. Like they had in my opinion, they had a larger pool of employees that they could have pulled from to make the game just as expansive. In which Bioware RPG game are you allowed to be evil? Oh my God! Much easier to give freedom of action RPG than action RPGs. I've never played any Dragon Age as a newcomer. Uh, as a newcomer, I think it's a great entry. No, no, 100%. Mass Effect has evil choices. I generally don't know. No, yeah, the Mass Effect has evil choices. Um, KOTOR, Knights of the Old Republic has evil choices. Um, but yeah, so some of the from what I've seen from like the dialogue trees, right? Uh, in Mass Effect 2, the moral choice is either slimy or direct. Oh, true, true. Um, uh, but so like in let's talk about moral choices in games and being allowed to do certain things. So like when I saw the dialogue tree your between the followers, right? KOTOR is busted because I lied to the Citheroa. Sure, I love being, I love be massacred. I love to massacre people, and I get dark side point. Yeah, you know what I mean. Like some of it's basic, right? But they still had you could still be a dark side user in KOTOR, right? They didn't force you. So okay, perfect example of like what I mean by like true choice, right? Um, in the dialogue between your followers in Veilguard, in Dragon Age, isn't as dynamic and isn't as expansive as um at the end I want to become Sith Lord replacement, but I didn't get that option. You can actually. Um if you what's it called? If you go to um if you control the first KOTOR, you can become the Sith that takes over and kills it. But you can get a pet griffin. I get it. But so hear me out. Hear me out. in between the dialogues, between your your side characters, your cohort, your party, I didn't like the fact that it was kind of like mothering and fathering them. Like, no, they should be able to express themselves, and you shouldn't, like, if you do end up picking a side, it shouldn't be like, um, there was one. Hold on, there's one dialogue tree that I'm trying to talk about. Um, yeah, so like to save them in the end. No, 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 100%. So like, um, in the basically the dialogue tree, like you can talk in Baldur's Gate to your, so it's like ME2. Yeah, kind of. You can talk to your um in Baldur's Gate 3, you can talk to your companions about everything that they've experienced so far. And yeah, it's kind of tree-ish, but you can still kind of just chat with them. Here, it's very much a dialogue tree. And then on top of that, you got to, when they do have arguments within the party, it's like, oh, bro, I, I, I don't, I don't want to pick sides here, or not even pick sides, but basically, if you felt like so, like in such of a way of like, oh, I think there's an issue with um, like two of the party where it's like, oh, you shouldn't call that necromancer a death magic user. It's literally necromancy. Like, I get it that there's, you can pick sides in arguments. Yeah, so like I get it that the two characters argue about like the morals of necromancy. Emmerich, my beloved. Yeah, no. So like they're arguing about like the two morals of necromancy. Whether or not you fall on one side or the other when it comes to like, because in Dragon Age, magic is like this forbidden taboo. Like, you shouldn't be really using it unless you're a circle mage. Um, and 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 you shouldn't be like, death magic is like something that's completely and totally like people like it's gotten, all that stuff. So like, if you were in character, right? For example, like the characters I've played were always Templar or some sort of paladin-esque character, right? Um they're like, if you were in that particular argument, right? There's no resolving it, right? You can either resolve it to the for the betterment of both characters, or you can say, well, you know, how about you two just work together? Or like, there's no like point of like, hey, you know, if you guys can't work together, X, Y, or Z kind of a deal. Like, there's that. Oh, you call. No, it's not like a slang, but there's a, I forget what they're called. I forget the exact dialogue tree. Hold on. Like, you don't get to. Emmerich is clearly making a point differentiating necromancy, where you work with the dead to accomplish goals, whereas the death mage is you use the dead forcefully. Uh, using their pain and suffering. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like the arguments, like it seems forced because the character that Emmerich is arguing with, you know, from what I understand, her background is that all she knows is death mages. Like all that's been her. That's been like a basic foil. So like, there's the dialogue tree is not as expansive to where you get to the point of like, oh well, you should just not call him a death mage. Like, bro, that's not how you solve things. Like, people are more complex than that, and that's what I don't like about the tree is that you're not actually going in and and yeah, Tash calls him a skull lover. Yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying is like you're not actually um you're not actually like getting into diving into the true like culture that is um or that was basically he's my date. Yeah, well that's another thing. You can't romance your followers, your companions, or some of the NPCs that you're walking around, right? Can't romance them. That's just I don't know. Well, I mean, there was what was it? There were NPCs. There was like that that are like inside. Yeah, it was like it was reported from the gamer. This was back in like hold on. When did they report? When did this get published? Normally it's August 30th. So earlier, it's like Dragon Age Veilguard won't let you romance NPCs this time around, as the creative director John Epler explains. Romances are strictly between the companions. The reason why is by focused on he did admit that NPCs aren't that jump out as natural candidates, and I like no, dude, don't do that. Like, and that's the issue is that the biggest arguments that I've heard from Veilguard is that one, the trees don't let you explore the cultures per se, and then two, um, a lot of stuff that people like the directors basically like what's it called? The directors made decisions that I think were somewhat detrimental because you don't all that stuff. I don't know. Like interesting. I would say romancing non-companion NPCs makes sense rather than companion NPCs. Well, you could in Mass Effect you couldn't date an NPC either. You could only no. So this is what I'm saying, right? Like you're talking about Mass Effect, right? Which was released well before Veilguard, right? So, and this is why I think, hey man, how's it going? It's going good. We're just talking about Dragon Age right now. So like Quackamo, I love the fact that you love the game. I think the biggest gripe with Dragon Age is the trees are limited in the dialogue. You can't, especially with something like so sensitive, like between Emmerich and that other companion whose name I forget, with the argument between necromancy and death mages, right? There's no. it's just the surface level argument. You're not actually diving down solving the issue between the two, right? Tash, yeah. So Tash and Emmerich, you're not actually solving the issue between the two. It's, in my opinion, you feel like you're the parent and you're just yelling at one of them to tell them to stop and act nice with each other, instead of actually understanding where their strife comes from, right? And then, as a party, for example, if you play as not as a Tav in Baldur's Gate, but play as one of the other characters, like play as Astarion, play as you know Shadowheart, play as Karlach, play like if you play as one of the actual characters in the game and not the Tav that you create, there is a lot. And even if you do play as the Tav, but then you take control and you make the characters talk to one another, there's a lot of dialogue within the party yourself, within that particular party, where you're talking and you're working through a lot, like a you know Lysel does not like Astarion, frickin' Gale and um uh Gale and Astarion have like kind of a thing going on because they're both ambitious and whatnot. Um, Will and Karlach kind of have a thing going on because they're kind of in the same vein of damned souls trying to reach their redemption. So there's a lot of, yeah, but the dialogues rather shallow. I get that. No, but that's what I'm saying is like people got spoiled with Baldur's Gate. And the fact that BioWare didn't take notes, because and this is the biggest gripe of all, right? Dragon Age Inquisition, right, came out in Dragon Age Inquisition was released in 2014. Okay? The DLC that hinted at the Veil Guard, right? Which I think was the Winter Palace one, if I remember correctly. The Winter Palace one was the DLC. The Trespasser? Yeah. The Trespasser was released almost a year after, right? September 15. So from September of 15 to basically now, in November of this year, they had 9 years. 9 years to get everything right, basically. To make it not surface level, to actually get you into the game and really deep into the game. They had 9 years of development. Okay. Um, Baldur's Gate 3, the full release date was a year ago, back in August of 23, right? So it had been out for a year. But the alpha build, right? So the early access on Steam for Baldur's Gate 3 was 2020. Okay? So 5 years, right? The issue is that the game they want to make is for a new generation to play. They made it too casual. But that's what I'm getting at, right? And I think, and look, you're a new gamer, or sorry, you're a new player who has not experienced, or maybe this is the first time you're in the this is the first time you're experiencing Dragon Age. Like, I played the original Dragon Age when it got released in 2009, I want to say. I want to say it was 2009. Yeah, 2009. Yeah, November of 2009. So I when I got to Edwards Air Force Base, I played it. Um, and then I played what was it? And then I played the second Dragon Age, right? Dragon Age 2 when that came out, and then I played Inquisition. And I don't know. I think Dragon Age Origins was just better. Um, so Origin and Inquisition. I don't think I have the time or patience to play through the Legacy playthrough from two. Yeah, no, no, I get it. I get it. I get it. No, look. So I'm not, like I said, I'm not dogging on you. Um, I'm not dogging on you for enjoying Dragon Age. I think the biggest issue for people, right, is they had such a high expectation for this game, and BioWare fumbled the ball. 100% fumbled the ball. Um, and I think that's basically where um, people got upset. And I think that's why people got upset over it. Is that um, BioWare wanted to introduce people to the Dragon Age universe and make it casual for casual gamers, but then they didn't understand the ground that, like, so whenever I talk about the ground that you got to work with, right, they didn't understand the ground that was already presented to them. And the ground that was already presented to them was, I've done a legacy playthrough for The Witcher. It was a slog. Oh yeah, yeah, 100%. Like, but that's what I'm saying. Like, the ground that you're that BioWare, and I don't blame BioWare. I blame I BioWare has some fault in it, but I blame EA because EA gutted BioWare Studio. Excuse me. Witcher is amazing. I blame EA because EA does this every single time they kill a studio. Is they gut the studio and then they put new people in charge of that studio and forget that they're in the business of making games. That's basically why I blame EA, but I also blame BioWare because they didn't understand that when Baldur's Gate came out and there was a lot of ground swell for Baldur's Gate. Keep in mind they still had 4 years to develop this game, right? They were like, oh, we're gonna do X, Y, and Z. And remember, we were waiting for 10 years between Veilguard, right? We were waiting 10 years. Okay, and this is the biggest thing I don't like about game companies. If they if game companies truly wanted to, like, make profit, they would release a game knowing that it's competitive instead of releasing a game because they're betting on something that's not a sure bet. Particularly, they're chasing the casual market. Yeah, and that's the problem. That was the problem. They were chasing a casual market even though they had an IP that could have made gangbusters. Even though they made an IP that could have made absolutely fantastic return on investment. Like and you the and people would be like, well, they wanted to do casuals because they didn't know if the game was going to be popular. Look at Baldur's Gate. Baldur's Gate 3 is so deep in the lore of Dungeons and Dragons, but people like it was so successful. Hasbro made millions of dollars off of it. What was that great treat? Make shorter, uglier games cheaper. uh, so Baldur's Gate release date. Yeah, so reportedly sold 15 million copies. And then about a month ago, right? This was back in March of 20 of 23, right? A month ago, they sold well over 10 million units. Like last year, and this is from Yahoo. Last year, it was they made $650 million, and this was reported back in January of 24. So the whole year of 23 to 24 in January, they made 60. They made $650 million. Whoops, got censored. Oh, hold on. Allow. Yeah, Dragon Age is not ugly at all. No, but that's what I'm saying is that like, and this is the issue. I allowed it. Yeah. So this is the issue that I have with the criticisms with Dragon Age Veilguard. Uh, BioWare BioWare literally developed a game thinking, oh, it'd be fine. It'd be fine that X, Y, and Z is here. And then they turned around and they didn't even look at the market. And that's my biggest issue with Dragon Age. Now, I'm still going to play it because I think I'm going to give it its chance, but I'm coming at it as BioWare fumbled the ball because they have this very rich and deep lore for Dragon Age, and they didn't do anything with it per se. Everything was very surface level when it comes to the companions. And realistically, if you're not selling the story and you're selling the relationships between the player character and the companions, you better damn well make it expansive. And then the other issue is that um, and this was more of a little critique, is you can only talk to your companions um, during the rest periods, and that was another critique that I've noticed with Veilguard. Whereas you should be able to talk. I mean, it's 2024. You should be able to talk to your companions as you're going on the adventure. Um, so I don't know. There's that. I hated that in Origins. Yeah, I mean that's. But again, that was in Origins. That was back in '09. That is an acceptable mechanic. Okay, that is an acceptable mechanic because it's not like they're even the same characters. True. Again, look, the issue that I'm saying is that it sounds like Veilguard missed the mark a lot, and I blame a lot of it is EA because they gutted BioWare, and a lot of it's um, BioWare because they they didn't look at the market. Whoever was in charge of game research and game development and competition, they didn't look at the market and they were just like, oh, we need to up our game. Like we need to delay this even further. Because it's okay. Like it's okay to turn around as a game studio and say, hey, um, we don't want to put out a subpar product. We're going to delay this like a year or two or however long it takes until we get a good. Like there's difference between delaying it and then it gets killed as a project, and there's a and then but then there's a difference of delaying it to make it better, right? I mean, oh god, what was that one game that delayed for like 6 months and they actually did pretty damn good. Oh, I can't remember. It was in the news, I think last year or the year before that. I think it actually might have been Helldivers. Oh no, I think it was maybe it was a Ubisoft game. I can't remember, but there was a game company that said, "Hey, we're going to delay release because it's not done. There's too much bugs." And then when they did release it, it was a lot smoother on launch. And they were like, "Oh, that's great." You know, I wish there was a companion side quest that you could uh, about the MC, the main character. You know, like when that has influence on the story. Like we talk about the important issue on the mission, uh, then we flirt at the campsite. Like what the fuck? Well, I mean that's the thing about Dragon Age Origins. That again, released in 2009, that was an acceptable. That was acceptable. That was an acceptable character development right back then. Now it's not. I mean, the audience has changed. Technology has changed. It's super more complex now. So, I mean, I think in the grand scheme of things, that's why. Um, I think in the grand scheme of things, that's why. Uh, that's why there's been so much pushback with Veilguard, is because they're holding it up to a standard of Larian Studios and Baldur's Gate, whereas and you can call that an unfair standard, and sure, I can definitely commiserate with you that that's like, well, you can't always have a Baldur's Gate. No, but you can sure as hell fucking try. And I think they went the opposite direction. They wanted to catch a wider net with casual gamers, and casual gamers is not what Dragon Age is about. I almost lost my run of Bellatrix. I'm sorry. It is what it is. All right. We're gonna finish another face. Because we've definitely talked a little bit. You guys want to see me paint. I mean, I love talking to you guys while I'm painting. But we definitely got off tangent when we talked about Veilguard and whatnot. I'll have to rename this as like Warhammer 40K, but we talk Veilguard instead. um, but yeah. Let's do. Thought I had another. I did not. Oh, Veilguard is a planet in the 40K universe. It is, I think, isn't it? Hold on, let's take a look. You can pet all the cats and dogs and griffins, so that's a win in my book. Oh no, like I get it. I get it. People like what you like. Like what you like. Um and that's I will never ever ever um oh, that is. Except if it's heinous shit, then don't do that. Yeah. The 101st Veilguard, Astra Militarum, from our what's it called? From yeah. That's so cool. Yeah, that's wicked. Because any word in it's a 40. It is. It is. Oh, wait, sorry, 2 o'clock. Man, that technical difficulty threw a wrench in my productivity. All right. I think after I paint this face, we'll end it here because I do have to get some rest. Why is Inquisition still 39 euro? What? Dragon Age Inquisition? Yeah. It's probably because it's still a BioWare still wants to make money off of it. It's 40 euro. Origin is 29 euro. Yeah, I mean, you're not going to get a computer game that's going to be $10. You're just not, unless it's something that's you know fairly old. It's 19 on good old games. Yep. Also, Dragon Age 2 is 29 euro. Yeah, like I said, it BioWare dictates the pricing. I got the games like Control for free there. Oh yeah, you could get sub games free, but when you're talking about something that just hell no, man. I'm putting this Chinese spyware on my PC. Yeah, like I said, it kind of all depends on, like, BioWare dictates pricing. Um, some stores will eat losses if they think that they can make you buy like the most current game. But most of the time, it's all based on, like, I still don't see, you know, I still see games that got released in like the late 2000s, uh, that are still very prohibitively expensive. And, well, not prohibitively expensive, but they're like still like $29 or $30 or all that stuff. Oh yeah. Oh, yeah, I think I'm gonna call it after this. Yeah, don't worry. We'll be doing more painting over the holiday break for Thanksgiving and all that stuff. So you guys, if you guys missed it, or because of the technical difficulties or whatnot, we'll be back. Don't you worry. And what I think I'll do is I'll just start resetting the router before I stream every time. Hopefully that'll fix whatever the hell gremlin decided to take a shit on my damn router. Yeah, but I like the game. I'm having fun with it. That's all that matters to me. Yeah, like I said, Quagamo, I'm not trying to dog on you. Never once will I ever dog on somebody that enjoys a game that they like to play. Um, I was just merely stating that, that's what I've heard, and from the observations I've seen, But did you consider the other people that hate the game? Like, no, no, and nor should you. Like, unless that game is poorly made or is a very atrocious game, uh, you will never ever ever. You should never ever ever like consider anyone else's feelings in the matter. It's the I consent, but Jesus doesn't meme. Oh yeah, yeah. I get it. I get it. Sorry, sarcasm doesn't translate as well at through chat. I've made a warrior, which I usually avoid, but I'm more of a mage type in general. Yeah, I really hope that they have a Templar subclass in this particular, like when I do play Dragon Age, because I fucking love the abilities the Templar have. In 100 years, we'll talk like there is a Grey Warden subclass. Ooh, very nice. 100 years, we'll be talking like Jalid at Tanakra when the walls fell. Ooh, that's an old call out, my guy. The Star Trek memes foretold. I usually try and play Rogue Thief because it's a good indicator if the game's good or not. Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, if you can play Rogue or Thief and you enjoy it, that's a decent game. Thief is the hardest to implement in an RPG. It is. It is. Okay, after we finish this one head, I think we're gonna call it, guys. The dwarf rogue was the best part. He wasn't a rogue. The dwarf in Origin. Oh! You mean in Veilguard? Oh no, in Origin. In Origins is a dwarf. You mean Ogren? Ogren's not a dwarf rogue or a dwarf commoner. Yeah, Ogren's not a dwarf rogue. Ogren is a dwarf warrior. Now he's a good. It's a good story where you dress up as a noble. Oh, your character. Yeah, gotcha. My next video, I'll play through after. I'll be playing as a dwarf, and then the Canary Mage. I kind of wish they during Dragon Age Origins, there's a DLC. I forget what it's called. I think it's called Bloodlines or something like that. Let me double check real quick. It might have been Witch Hunt. Oh no, the Darkspawn Chronicles. It was the Darkspawn Chronicles, the ones that. Oh no, not the Darkspawn Chronicles. Short stories, Warden's Keep, Witch Hunt. I think it might have been Witch Hunt. Return to Ostergar. Oh no. Yeah, song. It might have been Witch Hunt. I can't remember. Because it was like, it was where you Oh man, no, I can't remember it. Oh, it was this one. The Awakening, Dragon Age Origins Awakening. It was part of the Darkspawn Civil War. Like it was when the Darkspawn started to become um uh it was when the Darkspawn started to become self-aware. I wondered how a Bioware Baldur's Gate 3 would have turned out. I don't know. But yeah, it was part of the Darkspawn Civil War. The Darkspawn were becoming self-aware after you slain the archdemon. Darkspawn Union. Funnily enough, I grew attached to my Lord of Fortune Warrior. Yeah, but basically the premise is that the Darkspawn are becoming self-aware, and they're like remembering their old selves, and it's you have the Darkspawn Magister, and then you also have the Broodmother, and the Broodmother's trying to become the new archdemon, and the Magister's trying to basically be like, no, I want my people back. um and the it's that's basically like um the issue with the that particular Darkspawn. And I wish they did more of that. I wish they added more to the Darkspawn Civil War between the Broodmother and the Magister. Yeah, you can. Put it in art gallery. Oh, it's like very it's like very what's it called uh like Celtic warrior woad picked. I love battle axes. I'm partial to the longsword myself. All right, and that's the last face done, at least the skin. Well, so we got six down. Morning, Hairstone. Sorry, we're just about to end the stream, unfortunately. We had technical difficulties, and then we talked about Veilguard a lot in this second half of the stream. But if you um, if you look on Twitch or sorry, if you look on YouTube, there's two. There's going to be two streams. One is a 2 hour one, and then this one's going to be about an hour and 6 minutes long. Um, but anyway, Guten Morgen, Herr Stone. Uh, yeah. So anyway, we managed to do six faces. We just got the skin. We haven't done facial hair or eyeballs yet, and then we still got to do the yellow of the flash. Um, but yeah, thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. Sorry for the technical difficulties. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Um, and when the bad German. Joking, no need to complain. Oh, no, it's okay. It's all right. It's okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's just like I said. We actually had a lot of technical difficulties um, on the stream. So hopefully next stream we won't have as many. But anyway, I hope everyone has a lovely week. I will be working Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We might be filming Thursday. Don't know just yet. We have in the Discord, we have the MS3TK night. Um, I'll re-put it in the chat on what the movies are that people can vote on. And then we'll do Warframe Prime probably work at the end of this week. Okay, all right. So and then we'll do a community movie night, and yeah, I may not be there for the whole movie. That's okay. That's all right. And we we'll do that. Anyway, my name is Commissar Hecht. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Um, and we'll be streaming next week, like I said, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and whatnot. So, good night, good morning, good night, good evening, good luck, and good morning, and all that stuff. I've done enough damages here. I hope you guys have a good morning, good evening, and enjoy your time. Bye bye.